What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show, man. Recap with Mo, where we getting ready to get into an episode breakdown of Tyler Perry's Sistas. But before we get into this thing, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shiznit that's going down right here, all right? So the episode that we're getting ready to recap is Season 6, Episode number 8, titled Uneven Playing Field, which the synopsis states that as Hayden and Tamara's relationship grows stronger, Gary still isn't sure about her true intentions. Maurice continues his pursuit to get Q to confess the truth. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this breakdown, alright? So we start this episode right here with Fatima and Andy at the law firm, and Fatima is crying her eyes out right now because she just cannot take it. She's begging Andy for the ring, and Andy, I guess she thought she was asking for it back so she could place it back on her ring finger. She was like, hell to the no, I can't go through with this, and I'm not going to end up like Karen. I was like, So anyhow, Andy's like, please don't do this. You and Zach give me hope. And and she was like, look, Andy, I hear you, but I'm not going to be second in this relationship. He needs to understand that I'm first. And if he can't understand that, then I'm willing to let him go and seek who he really loves. All right. So Andy is like, no, I don't believe that. So Andy gets emotional. And I was like, what the hell? So Andy mentions that, of course, Mrs. Porter has mentioned a lot of things that has made us to, start to think about our own relationships because they saw themselves in Mrs. Porter's story, right? So she just so happened to come into the office and have the same exact stories that both of these individuals are currently going through, all right? So, hell, I mean, you can't help but to get emotional and feel some type of way about it because you see yourself and then you can possibly see your future in what this lady has just conveyed to you. So I get it. But Fatima's like, look, I'm done with this. I don't want nothing else to do with it. And Andy is sitting up here crying with her like, don't do that. But Fatima is over it at this point, all right? So going on from there, while they're still in the midst of talking, we see old boy comes in unannounced as usual. Now, is it me? What type of boundaries do we have inside of law firms? Like, I see why things happen to people where there's no security. Now, has he taken over the law firm or whatnot? I'm just not sure. But for him to just be so willy-nilly, to walk inside of an office without any escorts, without anybody calling to the back, notifying Andy or Fatima that somebody's roaming around looking for them, that's a little odd to me. But anyhow, Gary walks into the office and, of course, Fatima leaves. So after she jettisons, Gary is like, hey, are we going to continue our conversation? So he wants to continue this conversation that went on a couple of weeks ago on the previous couple of episodes where she pretty much, had an honest moment with him, telling him, hey, I'm going to just be real with you. Your sex ain't all that. I'm just here for the moment. It is what it is. You know me. So he's in his feelings. He's feeling some type of way right now, and he can't get it off his mind right now. So he really wants to get Andy back for what she did to him. So he comes in, and he was like, look, are we going to talk about it? She was like, talk about what? He was like, look, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you straight up. You were not the best thing that I've had. And as a matter of fact, your head game wasn't all that good either. So she was like, huh? Wait a minute. So why your eyes be rolling back to the back of your head a little bit? And he was like, oh, that shit is out of frustration. Out of frustration? For real, bro? Oh, man, listen. As the way that Andy went through this, man, it was like, look, I got you. I done broke you. I done whipped your ass down to the point that you trying to come at me at any angle possible. And she tells him point blank, period, that I see what you're trying to do. And he was like, what do you mean? Bro, she done got to you emotionally. And as a man, you weak for that shit. Like, you need to man up. Say it with your chest right now. You lost, bro. And I'm interested to see how, not Fatima, but how Andy is going to handle this, because initially she was strong, she was hard. It was something that carried on from the conversation with Fatima when she was crying emotionally, uncontrollably at that table just a few moments ago. I thought she was going to be strong for a moment, but as the conversation went on, it seemed like Gary started to get the upper hand once again. Like, he says, okay, as a matter of fact, we don't need to have sex anymore. She was like, I agree to that. Then he turns around and says, oh, well, I'll be at your house at 8 o'clock. She was like, what the hell? Like, for real? And she pretty much says, no, we're not going to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to be at home. I thought that was the end of the discussion. Obviously, it was not. And she tells him, look, I'm not going to be at home until after 9:30. He was like, well, I'll be at your house after 9:30, so we cannot have sex. And then this man turns around and says, I can tell this is turning you on. Like, bro, are you listening to this conversation? And if Andy is honestly getting turned on by this conversation, I'm a little more concerned about her as well. Because is it just about and I'm not going to say that on this channel, but is it just about that? Obviously it is. So if it's just physical, then Andy should be able to get out of this quite quickly, because she's not really attached to him outside of that. She can find that anywhere. They got a rose and some other shit out here now. They got women going all over sliding on fans and shit right now. So it's it's all types of stuff out here right now. Anyhow, going on from there, we head over to Hayden's office. Now, Hayden just got finished, and he ain't complaining about nothing, because Tamara done did her wifely duties, you know what I'm saying? So, he was like, damn. She was like, what is it? He was like, nothing. But if you notice, he really wants to talk, but he really doesn't want to talk, because he feels like he got a good thing going on right now. He ain't never had it like this before, and Tamara is giving him the best that she got thus far. So I'm just intrigued by this. And honestly, in the previous episodes, I was asking for someone, to have a pretty good relationship. Shit, I hate to admit it. Right now, Hayden and Tamara seem to have the best they seem to have the best relationship right now. Everything is, jolly over here right now. So I don't even know what to say about this. I want to dislike Hayden, but right now, Hayden, he rising up in the game. So I really don't know. I mean, man, this is hard. But anyhow, Gary comes in once again, unannounced, and he interrupts these newlyweds in their conversation, because they were just getting into the thick of it. She was letting him know that she's going to continue her wifely duties at the crib, and then Gary comes in unannounced. Like, dude, and now he's wanting to cover his face like he ain't never seen no shit before. Like, come on, bro. Anyhow, when he comes in, he introduces himself. No, he doesn't. She says, who are you? And that's when he introduces himself to Tamara. He said, oh, I guess you're Tamara. And she was like, yeah. And I see you at home, Hayden, when you get home. And so Gary has to stick that to Hayden a little bit. But that's a little jealous, man, because you ain't getting it. And you think you're going to get something tonight. But I honestly believe that Andy has a curveball that she's going to throw at Gary. It's just something in me that's telling me that. Anyhow, Gary goes on to tell Hayden, hey, you need to make sure you get that annulment. Did you get that annulment? He was like, yeah, I got it. He said, I'll get on it. But honestly and truly, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Hayden is willing to go through it, definitely after the information that Gary just conveyed to him, telling him that, hey, everything came back clean except for some shit she did in high school, but outside of that, she's good. Now, my only question is, now, maybe I missed it. Now, when she came in to supposedly get this divorce from her husband or whatnot, like, has that been finalized? I can't recall, has all that shit been finalized, because we have not mentioned anything else about that. Maybe I missed it, but maybe you guys can tell me down in the comments down below, because I was going to go back some previous episodes, but, I had some other shit to do today, but maybe I need to go back and look at that. But anyhow, at this point, I honestly believe that Hayden is not going to go through the process and he's going to end up in a bad situation. And then that's when the shit is going to hit the fan. I honestly believe that Tamara is playing this game properly. She's doing the job that Madam has sent her to do. And Fatima should be easy because it's going to get real greasy real quick. Just wait on it, all right, so next we see Karen and Zach. They sitting at the little coffee shop or whatnot, and they just reminiscing about good times and shit. Now, for me, I know y'all talking about y'all loving this, you loving the chemistry. I get it, I see it, they look good together, but they don't work well together. Obviously, only one of them at the table understood that, all right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and give Zach his props, and I'm going to make a video later to talk about him, how he stood up, because typically I'm going in on Zach. This episode, Zach stood up, and I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10 for standing up and doing the shit that he was supposed to do previously a long damn time ago. All right, so Fatima is at home, obviously. She's crying her eyes out. Zach is at this coffee shop, and he's pretty much just listening. He's reminiscing back and forth with Karen. They talking about this whole situation where they actually came to this spot for their second date and shit like that. It was raining, the rainbow was out, Skittles were falling down and all that shit. Everything was good. It was lovely. And she knew right then and there that he was going to be her forever. She knew it. And he was like, good, because, and I was mad at this point because, not at this point, but about the comment that you saw in the preview. And I hate these damn previews because it made it look like he was saying, like, I'm happy that we're at this point now. It's just funny how life puts you in these places and I'm ending up back here. But he corrects it and he says, it's funny how life takes us in different directions, and then we end up at a place where we're supposed to be, and you're with the preacher man, and I'm with Fatima, and she stops him very quickly by stating, no, I ain't with him like that. Where he was like, but shit, I'm with Fatima though. But look how she checks him though. She says, but are you though? And truth be told, Zach, you deserve that shit because she's only going off what you gave her. You gave her that energy, so she perceived that to be what it was, and now you're trying to retract it. But at the same time, that's honestly what you gave her, bro. That's what you gave everyone. That's why everyone was looking at you sideways. That's why Brother Preston came to you sideways. Listen, you gave it. That was the energy you gave. So now Karen is feeling some type of way because she honestly felt like this was a re-up. Like this was going to be a redo and we were going to rerun this commercial once again and make everything right. Now, something that I noticed in this. So when they get to the point about, him coming over for sex because that's what she wants him inside of her, on top of her, and him only, which I was like, damn, Karen, like... for real? So listen, she got guttural with it real quick and told him exactly what she wanted, which I can't be mad about because she's going for it all. She wants her man back. She wants that old thing back, all right? Unfortunately, Zach isn't there, and he's standing 10 toes down stating that, hey, I'm still with Fatima. I'm not coming over there to lay it down and bust it and spread it wide open for you right now. No, I'm not doing that because I got something at home, all right? And I commend him for that because a lot of men would have not done that. They would have taken that opportunity. Shit, I mean, she already pregnant. It is what it is. But Zach he stood 10 toes down, so I commend him for that. And then Karen is like, oh, for real? You gonna reject me? And he was like, look, the baby probably ain't even mine. Now, Karen, this is my knock on you at this moment. Because the previous couple of episodes, you stated that you were going to let the father of the baby know that he was the father, and you have yet to do that. This was the perfect time to get that shit done if you would have just told him right then and there if he was the father, but the look on your face looked like it was otherwise, like he was not the father, and you regretted it. Because I honestly believe that if he was the father right then and there, you would have told his ass that. I'm just saying. So now she's pissed off, she's in her feelings, but she's not willing to let it go. Because he's already done too much stuff in front of her to prove otherwise. He was like, you ran to me, you were crying, you were hugging me emotionally, and you left your girl, bro. You left your girl for Karen, and she told you about it. And I think that's honestly when Zach was able to process it in real time to say, okay, I effed up. But instead, they were just sitting here kicking the bobo, going back down memory lane. Enough of that. Zach said, I'm done with that. No more of that. I'm moving forward, all right? So she was pissed off, and she was like, look, I'm going to leave the door open for you. And he was like, you don't need to do all that. She was like, no, I'm going to leave it open because you no longer have a key. And then Zach said something very interesting to her. He says, you going to let the wrong person in. I said, she sure is. All right, man, moving on from there. We head over to Danny and Preston. Now, Preston is over there cooking it up, cleaning up the kitchen and whatnot. And Danny walks in from a long day of work. You know what I'm saying? She's just exhausted and whatnot. Long story short, she wants to give this relationship a chance. And honestly, I'm not going to say I was shocked, but I honestly was shocked. Because first and foremost, we see the growth in Danny, y'all. Danny is actually growing up. She putting on her big girl drawers right now. She pulling them up under the and shit. So I'm happy for her. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I'm concerned about is Preston at this point. I need him to. I can see he's overly excited about this, but at the same time, I want him to honestly commit to this black woman. Commit to her, like she stated, like, let's be exclusive. Let's be serious about this. I no longer want to hear about Mindy, and I want him to not mention Mindy or anybody else. Focus on his sister and what's important to her, and the same thing for her to you. Learn each other, grow together, and y'all will work this shit out. I'm just saying. Anyhow, from there, that was pretty good. Oh, he's so excited. The food that he done cooked in the kitchen, he said, the hell with that. No, we're going out to eat. And she was like, for real? He was like, yeah, I got on my cowboy boots, my good boots and everything. She was like, shit. So anyhow, going on from there, man, we head over to Sabrina, who is now coming over to see Maurice and Calvin. Sabrina comes in and she was like, hey, Calvin, have you seen Maurice? Maurice is in the crib, whatever he's doing in the back room. So Sabrina pretty much tells Calvin what went down with Q, and he calls Maurice out to listen to the rest of the explanation. Maurice is like, it was pretty much a waste of time, right? And she was like, he was right. Q wasn't listening to her, but I honestly do believe that he was listening. I think his heart just hardened a little bit after she left. But honestly, I feel that she was getting through to him because, quite honestly, she did not deserve it. Neither did Maurice, but at the same time, definitely Sabrina. She did not deserve this. Maurice is still acting a fool as usual, and he's talking about this plan that he's going with. They're concerned that he's going to do something to himself, but he says, no, I'm never going to do that to myself, which I'm glad to hear. Sometimes when people go through something dramatic, something that they can't really deal with, they do consider doing things to themselves that they typically would not do, right? So going on from there, after they get done with that conversation, we hear Andy calling Sabrina, telling her to meet her over at Karen's house, and she wants her to also call Danny to tell her the same. So she was like, is everything good? She was like, yeah, just meet me over there. So when she calls Danny, Danny was like, what's going on? Some other shit done went down or whatnot, whoop, whoop, whoop. And she was like, no, we just need to meet up over there. She was like, hopefully we'll find out who the father of the baby is, right? So anyhow, Calvin, on the other hand, he's looking to take this opportunity to get to sit down and chill a little bit with Sabrina because he's still trying to reach out right now. Now, bro, to be quite honest, this probably isn't the best time to try to, get your Mac on right now with Sabrina because she's going through a lot right now and you still in that friend zone. So keep that going. And eventually, hopefully, Sabrina can see something in you, all the shit that you've done for her. Hopefully, it can change. If it doesn't, you just gonna be in that friend zone. Once you get locked in that friend zone, sometimes it's hard to get up out of there, right? Because she's already placed you over there. Anyhow, we head over to the airport where we see Maurice and Q. Q is now trying to get in his car. He's walking slow as hell, and Maurice is messing with him like, what's going on? And there's a female that's actually in the car or whatnot. So Q is like, look, get the hell away from me. And Maurice was like, look, I ain't got shit left to do. I mean, I done lost my job. I don't have nothing to pay for. Like, shit, my car was stolen at one time. Now all of a sudden you want me to leave you alone. I ain't got nothing but time, bro. Because that's what you've given me. You've blessed me with this. So anyhow, he goes on to tell old girl in the car, look, don't let him come in your house. He gonna take everything. He gonna... Old girl is looking now. Where in the hell does Q keep meeting these fine ass women? I'm just trying to understand where he going. So anyhow, going on from there, we see Zach and Fatima. They're finally getting the opportunity to have this conversation that has been needed for quite some time. So when he comes in the crib, Fatima is sitting on the couch, mad as hell, because this has been going all damn day. All right. So anyhow, she wants to know where he's been. He was like, well, I was with her. Okay. Like, so now you can see why she's mad, bro. Like, you've been out all day with Karen. Like, your woman is at home. Your woman was at work, crying her eyes out. And now all of a sudden you want to come home late at night and shit and want to give her a peck on the cheek and shit. Like, she's willing to give that to you. All right. Anyhow, so they sit down and they have this heart to heart. And she was like, look, Zach, the way that you treated me, it was embarrassing. It was hurtful. You left me there. And you left me at the law firm and you ran after this other woman who was your ex. How would you feel? Now, I was glad that she was able to get that off her chest. I was also glad that Zach was able to convey to her as well that same shit that went down with Aaron, how she felt. And she was able to understand that. And it was like, it was the same shit. I need you to give me grace, though, Fatima. And give that man some grace. He said he ain't never lost nothing like this, even though he didn't lose shit. So I'm going to believe his shit right now, Fatima. Go ahead, believe that right now. I'm going to support you, Zach. Go ahead, believe it right now. And we'll see what happened in the next couple of episodes. But anyhow, believe that right now. Go on and put your ring back on because y'all happy once again. And, you know, he's already told you he ain't going to beg you no damn more. But at the same time, she should have turned around and said, look, I'm not going to be playing second fiddle anymore. If you choose to run out here after ex-women or whatnot, just know, trust and believe, just like I got my shit in the car right now, it could be in the car once again. It ain't at the top of the stairs. It's in the car ready to go, man. All right? Just know that. She should have let him know that from the get-go as well. So anyhow, I'm glad they got that out of the way. Also in this conversation, she wanted to know what transpired between he and Karen. Like, what was the conversation about? What were y'all talking about? And I want to know all the shit's knit. Don't hold off no shit. So he goes on to tell her that she was talking about, hey, I want you to come over, you know, bust a low, spread it wide for me. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. I'm going to leave the door open for you. And he told her all of that. And Fatima was like, hold on, wait a minute. I know she just didn't start off no shit like that. He was like, no, she did initiate it. And truth be told, he ain't lying about it. So she did initiate it, Fatima. So if you need to know, if you need me to validate it, just give me a call and I'll let you know what went down about that, all right? So, and with that being said, you know the shit was going to hit the fan when he told all the damn information. I said, here we go. So anyhow, I was halfway right in my predictions in my preview. I knew that something went down for her to even show up. Like, that was utter disrespect that Karen did that, and I called her out on her BS when I said it in the previous preview about this episode. So anyhow, we head over to Karen's house since we're talking about Karen, and we see her waiting by herself, and Andy just pops up. Now, Nobody locks the doors in these episodes, so Andy walks her happy ass on in there. What's good, Karen? Karen is like, why are you over here? I did not invite you over here, but you here though. And she was like, yeah, I'm just coming to check in. What's good? So she was like, look, you need to go on and go because Zach is on his way over here. And she was like, for what? Because we getting ready to do our thing. That's what we getting ready to do. Andy's like, hell. Hell, you ain't. Like, what's going on? So anyhow, while they're in the midst of their conversation, here comes Sabrina and Danny. So when they coming in, they was like, what's good? What's on who's the baby daddy? What it is, all right? Karen is like, oh, so she done told all y'all fools, like, what's going down? And she was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, I already know that Andy done told y'all and told old girl what went down. Andy is like, I ain't told them shit. So you need to just take that little bass out of your chest right now. I ain't told him nothing about the situation. But anyhow, while they in there talking, she was like, look, y'all need to go somewhere. She felt like Martin. Like, y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get the hell up out of here because Zach is coming over here to bust my back out. And I need y'all to leave so I can get ready for my man, all right? So I was like, shit, but she is serious. She is dead serious about this. She honestly believes that she got that control. And see, man, there's a message in this. We'll have a side conversation later. But anyhow, I'm just saying, she still feels that she has that hold on Zach like none other. But unfortunately, the tide is shifted. Because as she's in the midst of talking, and she's saying it loud, saying it proud, she's caring and she's proud, Fatima walks on in. Now, I didn't hear no knock on the door, so I was wrong about that. But her back was turned, like I said, because she was confident about Zach coming over, so she was willing and ready for him to show up. And somebody does show up, but she was already pre-warned about somebody showing up, and it just so happened to be Fatima. And she was like, yeah, what were you talking about now? So, now, I know a lot of people gonna be mad because I'm siding with Fatima a little bit because, number one, you done utterly disrespected my girl. You done sat up here and told her man that you want him to come over there and do it like he did back in the day when he got a whole fiance. Damn, that was a bar right there. Yeah. Got a whole fiance and now you telling this man who's committed to this woman he want to have a family with and shit, talking about, do you really love her? Do you love her like me? And then you disrespecting John Aaron like that. Even though I don't like that, I still got to support him. So anyway, that's the end of the episode, man. Let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about it. Until next time, peace.